So good morning everyone. So in this class we are going to study about third normal form. So we have seen the first normal form, then second normal form also we have studied. In first normal form, you should make sure that in the table there should be only atomic values, and in the second normal form we found that there shouldn't be any partial dependency. Okay, so the dependencies, functional dependencies, whatever we had should be fully dependent on the candidate key. Okay, so it should not be partial dependent. So today we also studied about few of the properties. Okay, like we have studied in the last class, we have seen the reflexive, transitive, augmentation. So today you will study about the third normal form, which will take into account this property. Just check once. If x tends to y, that is if x determines y and y determines z, then x determines z. So this is a transitivity property which you have already studied in your 10 plus 2 maths also. So today we'll study about the third normal form. So let's check. So this third normal form, it works on the concept of transitive dependency. That means there shouldn't be any transitive dependency. Now you already know what is this transitive property is there. So you see a functional dependency x determines y in a relation schema R is a transitive dependency if there is a set of attributes z that is neither a candidate key nor a subset of any any key of R, and both x determines z and z determines y hold. So I'll explain you this one. I know you have not it's not clear from the definitions. I'll explain you. So just check the definition. So does a relation schema is in 3NF if it is in 2NF? So there are two conditions that the table must be in 2NF, and if every non-prime attribute A in R is non-transitively dependent on the primary key of R. Now let me take one slide and then I'll explain you this thing. Okay. Okay. So here you think this what is this transitive property is there. Suppose we have AB tends to C. We have this functional dependencies. Okay, and C. And this, what is this ABC is nothing but the attributes of any relation. Suppose the relation is there where A, B, C, D, something like that. Okay, so this is basically a relation R where the attributes are A, B, C, D, and we have functional dependencies. These are the functional dependencies. Okay, let me write it so that you understand. So these are the functional dependencies we are having. That is AB determines C and C determines D. So what I said, there shouldn't be any there shouldn't be any transitive dependency. But you can see here AB is determining C and C is determining D. Okay, but here we don't know which is the primary key here or which is the candidate key here. So candidate key, how do we find the candidate key? Okay, so we have to find the closure of something. Okay, suppose we take the AB closure. So we write something closure like this. So last sign. So this should be the superscript. Okay, I don't know the superscript option is available here or not. Okay, actually this should be superscript. I'm not finding the superscript option here. Okay, anyways, so you think you have to take into action. You have to think like from AB, from where we can go. From AB, or AB can obviously determine AB, right? Because it's a closure, that is a reflexive property. Okay. From AB, we can determine C, and from C, we can determine D. So ultimately, this AB closure is determining everything, all the attributes, right? A, B, C, D. So this means This AB is our candidate key. So candidate key is equal to, we are having A and B together. Okay. Now in the last class, we also studied about the prime attributes. Okay, let me write prime attributes. Now what is a prime attribute? Can anyone tell me what is a prime attribute? Yes, do you remember what is a prime attribute? Not, no one. So the attributes which help in making a candidate key. So the candidate key is your AB. So the prime attribute will be A, comma B. Then what will be non-prime? Yes. What is non-prime then?
C, comma D.
Yes.
Yes.
A, comma. So these are the non-prime attributes. Okay. So you have to now check the functional dependency. So here what you have to check, we are checking for the transitivity, that whether is there like any transitivity exists or not. So always remember that this case is absolutely valid case. Okay, this one is valid because a candidate key or a prime attribute, like a candidate key can determine any non-prime attribute. Okay, but here you see both are non-prime attribute. So this is the problem here. A non-prime attribute cannot determine a non-prime attribute cannot determine a non-prime attribute. Suppose we take, because according to transitivity, then we have the property that if AB like is determining C and C is determining D, then according to transitivity property, we will have AB determines D. Okay, but this should not be the case here, because here we have a functional dependency where this non-prime attribute, here you see this is the C is a non-prime attribute and D is also the non-prime attribute. That means there does exist some transitive dependency. Okay, now if I was taking some AB example, let me take some other example. Maybe we can take yeah, roll number, maybe state and city. Roll number, state, city. So here you think that we know already how to find the candidate key. So this is the candidate key. We have candidate key equal to roll number, and we have functional dependencies as roll number determines state and state determines city. Okay, we have something, this functional dependency. So this is absolutely correct, not a problem, because according to if roll number is a prime attribute, okay, so not a prime attribute, I mean say candidate key. So its candidate key is determining any non-prime attribute. It's correct. Okay, but you see here state is also a non-prime attribute and city is also a non-prime attribute. Then ultimately what happens, by taking the roll number only, because according to transitivity property what we have, we can determine the city. So this should not be the case. Okay, there should be no transitive dependencies. So you need to check where in case of this third normal form, you need to check only this that no non-prime attribute is determining any non-prime attribute. Am I clear? Are you understanding the thing? We are doing nothing, but we are checking the transitive dependencies, how we have to check the transitive dependencies. Yes, students. This is how you check the transitive dependencies. Okay. Now, so this kind of questions you can get in GATE also. Okay. So GATE net or whatever. So I have, suppose, let me show you one more example. I have a relation A, B, C, D. I have a relation R and A, B, C, D are the attributes. Okay, I have some functional dependencies now. Okay, so the functional dependencies are maybe, so these are the common type of questions you can find. Okay, so we have two functional dependencies. So AB determines CD and D determines A. Now we have to find the candidate key. Candidate key, I'm just simply writing CK. Okay. So candidate key, how do you find the candidate key? So just remember, first check the, here you see there AB is there and this D is there. Okay, so here you see AB determines CD and D determines A. Check the right hand side. Okay, so you see CD is here, A is here. Okay, what is missing here from the attributes? That is B. So obviously the B will be present in the candidate key. But if I find the closure of wait, where is the classical? Yeah. If I find the closure of B according to reflexive property, will be getting B only. So B alone won't be the candidate key. We need to find, it should be some like added with something, right? Now let's check AB closure. See, I'm writing the plus here, but actually it will be the, when you write in your like theoretical, it will be closure will be above. Okay, it will be superscript. Okay, since I'm not getting the option here for superscript, so that is why I'm writing in this way. So AB closure, like you have to now think from AB, we can go to obviously AB only because it's a AB closure, so we can obviously find determined AB. Then from this statement from AB we can go to CD. From again you see C here, no C functional dependency is there. So we again have last D. So already we can, from D we can go to A. So this is already present, right? ABCD is already present. So AB determines all the attributes. So this AB will obviously will one of the candidate key. Now it is not over. Now we have to check how to check like what other things can be a candidate key. So you check here A with A or B. So okay. So you have to check whether this A is coming on the right hand side of any functional dependency or not. So you check here. Yes, it is coming in D. So the right hand side of D is A. So what you do, D will be replace that A with D, and obviously B will be there because you see in both the functional dependencies B was not there, right? So B will be present in that one. Together it forms a candidate key here. So you find DB plus, so obviously from DB we can determine DB. Okay, from D we can determine C. Yes, sorry. From D we can determine A, right? From D we can determine A, and from AB we have this CD. See, it will obviously come. So obviously this means this DB plus is also a candidate key. So that means we have the candidate keys as a combination of AB and CD. Now can you tell me what will be the prime attributes, PA? What will be the prime attributes? Sorry, it's not the CD. Okay, I'm just mistaken. It should have come. Now can you tell me what is the prime attribute? Anyone? Did you understand till this part? Leave about the prime. Did you understand till this part? Any confusion? How did you find this AB plus DB plus or something closure? Yes. Ankita, any confusion? Varsha, Dev, Lonkir, no confusion? Prashant, any problem? Yes. Okay. So how do we find the candidate key? So this is, yeah, I'm repeating. So here you see we are given a relation. This will be given in the question, okay? These things. These things will be given in the question itself. That is, we have a relation R and name of the attributes are A, B, C, D. We have the functional dependencies that AB determines CD and D determines A. Now we have to find the candidate key. For finding the candidate key, what is the technique? First, you need to check what are the attributes are there, like ABCD are there. ABCD are the like 4 attributes we have. Now, which attribute is not present on the right hand side? That is, it cannot be determined. The attribute which cannot be determined is obviously the prime attribute. So we find that obviously CD is here, A is here. So obviously which will be the prime which is not present? B is not present. So B will be obviously present in your candidate key. Now if we find only the B closure, if we want to find only B closure, so according to reflexive property which we studied earlier in the last class, so it will determine what? Only B. But it will not be the case, right? B alone cannot be the candidate key because it is not determining the other attributes. A candidate key is something which determines all the attributes in a relation, isn't it? So that is why if we take only this B, it is not determining the other attributes. It is only determining itself. Which means that we need to add something to this B to be an candidate key. So when we add, so we have this AB. So we add this A to it and we find the AB closure. Okay. If we find from AB closure, we can go to, according to reflexive property, we can go to AB, and from AB we can determine CD. Okay. Next, if I only just see, I have done only 2 closures, so you have to actually find the closures for everything. Okay, just to show you. So if you find, so from here we know, now we know that we'll find B will be in the candidate key. But if we add only B to the candidate key, it will determine only B only. It won't be like able to determine the other attributes. So this is over. Now similarly, if I want to find the A closure, then also it will find only A. Yeah, sorry. Now if I want to find D closure, okay, so it will determine obviously D, and what it is determining? A. So it will determine A also. Okay. Similarly, we can go. But here, always remember, since we don't have to go for these so large steps, okay, so many steps, we don't have to go for these things. So always remember that if any attribute is not present, if not determined by any other functional dependency, so you can see B is not present on the right hand side, that means B will be present in your candidate key. So see, if you have checked, if you have found that this only if you find the B closure, you get only B. So you are not able to determine the other attributes. And candidate key is something which is able to determine all the other attributes, that is A, C, D. So what we do, we add uh, B along with A. Now we take the closure of this AB. So once we find the closure of AB, we know that AB can obviously determine AB itself. Why? According to the reflexive property, that it is able to determine itself. Okay. Next, from we got the AB. Okay. Sorry. Then from AB, AB will determine itself AB. Then from AB, AB determines CD. So CD also came. Now we have the next functional dependency. D determines A. So D determines A, but this A is already present. Okay. So that means obviously this AB will be the candidate key because it is determining all the attributes. Now we have to check whether there are any other attributes, other candidate key or not, right? So I told you the candidate key is basically the combination of keys, right? So which is a unique identifier. For example, in the last class I gave you examples of Aadhaar card, maybe PAN card, your phone number, email ID, your roll number. So which is the best apt one, which is the best suitable, we take that key as that attribute as the primary key. So this candidate key will be all the unique keys only. So we have to check whether other candidate keys are present or not. So we obviously got one candidate key. Okay, so that is AB. Now how we will find whether other candidate keys are there or not? So we take this attribute A. Okay, so we take this attribute and find whether A is present in anywhere in the functional dependency on the right hand side. So we find that yes, it is present and A is determined by D. So we replace that A by D. Okay, then we find, and obviously B will be present because it is not present on the right hand side. So in the earlier case only I told you. So B will be present. So what happens when we find this one, that yes, find DB closure. Sometimes it not be the prime candidate key also. It's not that it's always is a candidate key. This is the process we go for. Then we see DB according to the reflexive property. DB will obviously DB will obviously it will try to find itself. It will determine itself. So that is DB. Then from D we can determine A. So A came here. Now from ultimately this is BA or AB, same thing, right? So we have this AB. So from here, so if you have the functional dependency, it determines CD. So ultimately it is determining C also, and we are not writing D because it is already present. So which means that this can be the candidate key. Now we have two candidate keys. Okay, AB comma DB. Now tell me if you have any confusion. Okay. Now, if you have understood the candidate key portion, can you tell me what will be the prime attributes? Prime attributes, can you tell me what will be the prime attributes? Avinash, can you tell me? Is it? Prashant? What will be the prime attributes? Sahil? Avinash, why did you say it's A and D? Yes. Please tell me. Prime attributes are something which help in making the candidate key. So is it only, you see, if the candidate key comprises of only A and D, or even B is there, right? Yes. So Avinash, B is not there, so which like B is also present, right? Which also helps in making the candidate key, right? So it will be prime attribute, is it? What are the attributes are present? Just write it. Sorry, what are the, yes, attributes are present in the candidate key? They will be the prime attributes A, B, T. Similarly, non-prime attribute. So I'm writing NPA. So it will be only. So if you find, go here, you can see, yes, it is C only. So this is the non-prime attribute. Now, to check, once you get this thing, to check for transitive dependencies, always remember you have to check one condition is there. Okay, how do you check the transitive dependencies? Okay, let me write for you people. Okay, then you will have something for each, for functional dependencies. Okay, LHS must be a candidate key or super key or RHS, in capital, RHS is a prime attribute. So a table must be like, this is the condition you have, right? How you can check? First, for each functional dependency. So what are the functional dependencies you have? Here you have the two functional dependencies are there. Okay, this is the first one and this is the second one, right? So this is the second one. So you have checked that LHS must be a candidate key. So obviously this you check, this is a candidate key. So it is in this functional dependency is okay. Now, or now for the second one you check D. So D, whether it is a candidate key, D is a candidate key, no, right? But we have to check for another condition, that RHS is a prime attribute. So whether A is a prime attribute, yes, it is a prime attribute. That means it satisfies the third normal form. Okay, so it does not have any transitive dependency. Okay, please do remember this thing. Okay, so are you clear? Any confusion? Yes, any confusion? Now going back to the previous slide. So this kind of questions we'll practice once we finish the Boyce-Codd normal form. Also, we have one more. This one. We'll practice some questions. Okay, how to determine whether the given schema is in third normal form or second normal for first normal form. Just let's go back then. So here we have a table. Okay, employee department. We have these are the attributes: e-name, SSN. SSN is a primary key, birth date, address, D number, D name, and D manager SSN. So for third normal form, what we do, we divide it into two tables. Okay, so we have e-name. So till this one, this is already in third normal form. This was a simple example. So we can we have seen that in the second normal form only, it is getting normalized, because a table can be is in third normal form. The condition is the first condition, that first it needs to be in second normal form, right? So we have another example here. So unnormalized data items for puppies is there. So we have a puppies table. Okay, so this is an unnormalized table. We have think this is a single table, puppies, where we have the attributes puppy number, puppy name, kennel code, kennel name, kennel location, trick ID, trick name, trick where learned, and skill level. Now this is an unnormalized table, right? So lot of the things are stored in the single table. So what we have to do, we have to normalize it. That is, break it into simple structures. So what will this first normalization will do? This is the first normal table. So we are breaking, like here we have two tables, puppy table and trick table. So in the puppy table, you have the primary key as the puppy number, and we store the puppy name, kennel code, kennel name, and kennel location. And trick number, we have two primary keys are there. Okay, so we have this candidate keys as the puppy number and trick ID. So we remember that in this one, in second normal form, we have something known as there shouldn't be any partial dependency. There should be full dependency, right? So if you find this trick name is partially only dependent on trick ID, but it is not dependent on puppy number, right? Trick name is dependent on only on trick ID. Similarly, skill level, okay, or trick where learned is only dependent on the trick ID only. So this is partial dependencies and it should not be there. Okay, so we divide it. So we have another table, skill table. We did not do anything with the puppy table, but here in the second normal form, what we did, we broke the table to trick table and skill table. You see? Okay. So here again we have two primary keys, puppy number and trick ID. Okay, so it is converted to a second normal form. Okay, but these things are now in 2NF. Now we have to convert it to third normal form. So you see, it was here in the first normal form, it was in second NF. Now we are breaking this table into kennel table also. So this is how we are converting each table. So there shouldn't be any dependencies, right? There's in the third normal form there should not be any transitive dependency, and in the second normal form there should not be any partial dependencies. Okay. Now here we have just a summary of these forms. Okay, the first normal form, that is relation, should have no non-atomic values. Okay, attributes. And the second normal form will for relations where primary key contain multiple attributes, no non-key attribute should be functionally dependent on a part of the primary key. And third normal form, relation should not have a non-key attribute functionally determined by another non-key attribute. Just now we have seen, right, that any non-key in the functional dependency, any non-key attribute cannot determine any non-key attribute. Just now I gave an example of the state and city, right? Like in that case there will be transitive dependency. That means a non-key attribute, like relation should not have a non-key attribute functionally determined by another non-key attribute. That if it has, that means there is a functional transitive dependencies. And for relations where primary key contains multiple attributes, no non-key attribute should be functionally dependent on a part of the primary key. So it should be fully dependent, right? Fully dependent on the primary key. Just now I gave you example of this trick table. So since here you check both are the primary key. Okay, so here you can see on trick name is dependent on trick ID, but it is not dependent on the puppy number. So that means it is partially dependent. So it should not be done in second NF, right? But here you have this one skill table. So it is obviously related because which puppy has like trick where learned, skill level. So all this is converted into second NF, so third NF now. It is already, so we have divided it. Now any confusion? So I'll be sharing the slides today, so you have to go through it. Okay, and if you find any confusion, to let me know, because I'll be solving few questions from like gate questions, okay, from next class. I'll be obviously helping you like with the candidate keys. This because you get questions from this. Which like you will get question like which you have to determine given a table which normal form it is, okay. And if theoretical questions you need to write maybe describe about in like in university question how do you get like write about first normal form, second normal form, or write about the transitive dependency you have. But generally, if you have MCQs, then you will get questions the solving part only from normalization. Okay? So I'll be sharing the slide today. Okay, please go through them. Just wait, let me take the attendance. Okay, thank you everyone. So you all can leave now.